Hello humans, Master Dinnerflax here, and today I'm going to be doing a small discussion on Ash Blossom and why it's viewed so differently and so polarizing between players. The main two views on it are, it's actually too powerful for a hand trap and should be banned, and the other people's like, no, it's actually a necessity and it should stay in the game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play both sides of the fence, just so both views can understand why it happens. So for starters, I'm going to go with why it should be in the game. Yu-Gi-Oh! Has come to a point where there's only two cards that can really exist in someone's deck, and that is cards that net you a plus or cards that minus your opponent. And if you even break it down to a simpler term, most of the time your main deck is where all your pluses come, and then your extra deck is where you minus your opponent. So that's not always true, obviously. You see the strike in this hand, but when you're looking at this and you just take that information, you begin to realize Ash Blossom can stop most of the main deck, but it can only stop one thing. And here's what I want to say about that. Ash Blossom is, in that regard, a necessity, because if every card in your deck gets you a net advantage, why shouldn't there be a card that hinders that? Why should you have to play way conditional cards just to stop something that happens literally all the time? And in that aspect, Ash Blossom is a necessity. So let's go to the con. Ash Blossom is one of the most universal hand traps of all time. The only one being more universal was Max C, and Max C is banned. So when you're keeping that in mind, because of how universal it is, it's not going to be power crept. It's actually going to get more powerful as the game increases speed and power. And if that's the case, then it's eventually just going to be another Max C. And in that aspect, I can agree that it probably shouldn't be in the game. If you actually just read Ash Blossom, that's an effect that really shouldn't be on a hand trap. It's actually extremely powerful for one hand trap to do. Not only is it a toolbox between three different effects, but they're extremely universal effects. So why would you have that on a monster when it doesn't belong there? And yeah, I can agree with that too. So when you're looking at these two sides, they really do clash against each other. They kind of headbutt, and to be fair, I think both of these are really good arguments. The thing I don't agree with, the arguments I don't agree with, are the ones like, well, Ash Blossom shuts down my deck. It only shuts down tier 2 decks or lower. Like, it'll only shut down their turn for so long. But at that same merit, those decks can play Ash Blossom because it's generic. It's not like one deck has access to it. So in that aspect, I don't really get why you would complain about that, because you have access to it too. So that's not a good argument. But it being universal on a hand trap is the argument I do accept, as weird as that sounds. So what's my take on this? I think Ash Blossom should stay in the game, but probably not forever. It's so universal that there's going to be a time where it does shut down any deck's turn. Because if you're looking at the rate of which Yugioh is playing, it's slowly getting more fragile combos but more powerful. And if that's going to be the case, there will be a time where Ash Blossom does shut down a turn. So if that's the case, then you can't really do much about it, and then it just becomes another Max C. And if that's the case, then it should get the Max C treatment. So yeah, that's going to be it for me. Thank you all for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I know a lot of people are really heated when it comes to Ash Blossom. My opinion is it's fine in the game, but it's probably not going to be fine forever. It's just too universal to be fine forever. So yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you all for watching, and remember, Master Dinnerflax will take your soul.